Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to Week 2, Management 160 Online Principles of Supervision. This week we're going to have an interesting week. Last week everyone did pretty good. It was our first week that we met and worked together. So I'm going to give a real quick overview from last week. People did well. Majority of the individuals finished your quizzes. You completed your forms. Remember, the forms you're required to log in 3 times during the week and respond to 3 or more students each time you log in on different days, with a total of 10 plus replies to students. And that is some information. Great idea, but did you consider this? Or yes, or I got some suggestions, or I have a question about this. Part of the forum is not that I'm always read all the forms. Remember, when you have the forms, I'll look at all the forms. I read all the forms. I don't have to reply to all of the forms. I'll reply back in there. My whole thing is to get you as a network, a virtual team, to work together and help each other out within the forums. The forums replace the lecture in the classroom. So if you're not in my forums, as far as I'm concerned, you're not in my class. Okay? So you did well on that. You did your quizzes. You submitted your paper online. Some of you, when you submitted your paper, I'm going to go real quickly how you should submit the paper. But you put it into the comment section. When you go into submit, it says place your submission here or attach your file here. The comment section is just for me and you. If you submitted something in those 2 areas and you still want me just to read it before I open up, just in the comments. So otherwise, I think we're doing good. You're doing the forums. Remember, week 1 closes at Sunday midnight. Your forums end at Saturday at noon. Your quizzes I'll leave open, and your homework assignment all the way to Sunday midnight to get you finished. By Sunday midnight is done, you should be already starting on week 1. Once it's done, it's finished. Now the forums going forward. This week's forum, you're going to be some questions. I'm going to reinforce that again. Make sure if there's something the students post it or something that you like, start taking it out and saving it into a file for your research paper. Okay? Otherwise, you're doing pretty good. And if you, once the form is closed, you no longer have access to it. As long as you got received a grade and you posted something, you can always click on the grade and you'll see all the posts and replies that people did to you. If you posted nothing or very little, you will not see the other individual's replies. So the more posting you do, remember, even if you post and no one replies to you, or the people that you reply to don't reply to you, you have to be proactive in going out there as a first line supervisor, as a supervisor, and try to get the input from the individual. So you go out there. I'm looking for 10 plus over the period of the week at 3 separate days, with your first post by Tuesday midnight. You could do it earlier because I'll open up the forums and everything else by Sunday midnight, but by Tuesday. Otherwise, you wait too long. It's a download. People are already going in conversation. You have to post to get it going. All right? So let's see what we have for this week. This week, you still have your 3 quizzes, so you did very well on the quizzes. They're individual quizzes. You click on there. I don't think I have any issues on there. I don't think anyone got kicked out. If you got kicked out, you'll send me an email or I'll reset you, and you could complete that. Okay, so the quizzes are there. There are 15 questions. I think I give you 45 minutes or 40 minutes, more than enough for 15 questions per chapter, so you can study, quiz, read chapter. Try not to do it all on one night. There's no way you could do it all on one night. What I'm trying to help you in this class and all the other classes is that you learn how to spread your time out. I could do a little bit today, do a little bit tomorrow, do a little bit in the morning, do a little bit during the daytime. Same with the forum. You're already into Blackboard. Let's see what else I could do while I'm here and get out. And that's how you'll be managing your employees. You can't do everything. Just come to see me on Saturday, and the rest of the week I don't have any contact with my first line employees. No, you always have contact with your employees who are subordinates constantly on a day-to-day basis. So we're taking care of that. You make sure you will have 2 forums today. Now today we're going to start talking about your research paper. So when I'm looking at your forums, you're basically going to identify. You have 2 forums. One is this one's worth 25 points. I'm giving you extra points because the forums they'll help some people who didn't do too well on the quizzes. And the quizzes, remember, I'm always going to give you a letter grade, even though you got so many points. The points, you can always see how many points it's worth, and you could calculate. If I got 80%, if I got a B, that means 80% because the straight, B is 80%, A is 90%. So just multiply times 80, and you could have an idea what score you have. If you go in there into the into the task, it'll tell you what the score. I'm showing you the letter grade that you would receive for that task. Some of us are stronger in other areas, but you're always going to receive the letter grade. So you're going to identify your research project. How do I know what the research project? Everyone's going to identify research project. In your subject area, it has to be, before you even go into this form, you click over here where it says research paper information. And if I click on here, what do I have? Voila, I have research paper, critical analysis by Dr. Mochocki. This is in a PDF file because some individuals may have problems open up a Word document if you have a different kind of, what do you call it? Word software or word processing software, you may not open it up. So I put in a PDF file. You can see what's going on there. Click on there, look at it, see what's required. This other one is in Excel. It says research rubrics. I did that in Excel so you can look at it. But basically what you really need is the PDF file. So here's the rubrics. Here's how I'm going to be grading you. What 7 items I need. And then the next thing you're going to look at, I've also presented in here is a template for research in a PDF file. Once in a PDF file, let me cancel that. Let me do this is the only one left in a Word document file. So you open this up real quickly so I can get through there. Okay, forgot to hit OK. What's going on here? There we go. Oh, there it is. It's opening up. And what you basically have in this file, I created a template. So it contains the name of your paper header, name of the company, or the paper you're going to have, your name, the date. This is the class I have in here. You can put in there management. I think it's WO, whatever it is. If you're taking me for it's a online class, and basically it's the department and continue from the writing header. You got to have the 7 components. So right here underneath these 7 components, your introduction, which is your executive summary. You walk a little bit, you talk a little bit about what your project is and the impact, and then you answer all these. I think there's 7 in here. You keep on going, references and everything else, and you should be okay. Now remember, when I'm looking at the references, for those enable, those of you who never did any kind of references, when I'm ready to the references, if you're using Microsoft Word, you click on review, or let's say references, and then here you could have it, and basically you'll put the references that you want. And since we're in business, it's APA. I got to insert a citation. You say new source, and do you want it from a book? Do you want it from an article? And if I want it from an interview because of supervision, it tells you all the information and automatically put it into the right format. So you don't have to worry about setting that up. Some students know it, some don't, but now you know it, so you should be okay. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of that here. So you have everything else. So now let's go back into our weekly assignments. And this week, like I said, in week 2, we have the 2 forums. So you'll post that. Now when you go in there, you identify your product, your research paper, and it has to be on current management issue. I don't want out of the book. Don't read out of the book. If you're going to be talking out of the book saying about diversified, why is it important? Some places say this is important because companies need diversification because the constituents that they're serving should represent the population of the organization. So okay, so you're going to have that, or it could be retaining employees. Is that an issue within the last couple of years? Virtual work teams. How do I? This is an online class. That'll be a good topic. How do I get my? I'm a manager, but I want them to communicate with me via the web or via Go Mail because I'm a direct supervisor, but they're technicians. They're on the road a lot. So how do I communicate? How do I make meetings? Do I do anything else other than a face-to-face? It's open. Any of the 16, 17 chapters out of the book are fair game to start. Here's the topic, but is it a current issue? And then you could get some articles. Here's what's CNN is saying. Here's what some other individuals saying. Here's some academic papers on this, and that's how you're going to do a research and how you're going to apply it. You're going to tell me again. What do you call it? The size of the company. You're a first-line supervisor. You found this. There's an issue. You found this, and now you're going to train your first-lines, your employees, or you're going to bring this issue up to them and explain why this isn't. Why we have to do it this way. You remember, because a part of a first-line supervisor, 60% of your time is going to be in helping, mentoring, and training your employees to make sure they're effective. You're not judged. You're judged as how effective and how efficient and how proficient your team reacts and completes its tasks that they're assigned. Okay, so you're going to select why you selected this topic and which chapters you're going to be references. List at least 2 sources you feel will help you start researching this topic. You know, if I'm going to talk about diversification and I look at my team and they're basically all people of color, very diversified, but they're all Indian from India, or they're all from all Chinese, or all Japanese, or all Caucasian, or all American. How do I diversify? Remember, just because I have people of a different ethnicity, and they're all that ethnicity, all Hispanics. Let's see, if I have landscaping, I'm not being stereotyping. You know, if I'm Polish, if I have all Polish individuals, I have to have some kind of diversification. So, as an organization, what I'm basically saying is we will diversify, and I will start with my team. And I'm going to start when I hire people, I'm going to diversify. Or I have a diversified team and they're not communicating properly. How do I improve the communication? Because this is an issue that I've been finding. And research is telling me here's an issue and how do you resolve it? And that's what you're going to be coming, other than what you read from the book. You already read from the book. You already have that. I want you to look outside. That's part of being a first-line supervisor, and it'll help you as you're going forward in the organization, as you move up to middle management. I find things that's going on, and should I implement this into my process? The other, okay, so this one, remember, you got to 3 times during the week, first post by Tuesday, looking at 10 or more reply to other students, not counting the first post you do to me. Going forward, once we start doing some kind of assessments or homework, I will basically, you won't see anyone else's posts until you post first. This one's still open, so I want you to see what other topics people are picking up. Try to pick up, if you post your topic and somebody already has that topic, you have to change a little bit different. I don't want to see the same topics. It could be same, diversification, but I want to have in why you selected it has to be a little different. So you're not copying off the other ones, you're building on each other. So there's 20 people, 10 or 15 people, I forget what it is in the class. There should be enough individual topics. There's enough topics to pick up, look at any of the subtopics. The second form you're going to have in here is what I call the water cooler form. I throw this one in every other couple of weeks, and all is a general question. How are we doing? And you will say, Dr. George, we're doing great, but I have this question. You put that in the subject area. Or I have no questions at all. No problem. You put that no questions at all, and you still get the 5 points. The secondary, the water cooler form, is just a way of you informing me if there's something up there or if there's any problem. Do not wait on me. If there's something, say, hey, how do you do this research paper? What kind of font does he want? And, just because I don't get back to you right away, and somebody in the team knows that, hey, I found that in the research paper information that Dr. George mentioned in here. I found that in his mini concept map he has in there. I found it in the YouTube that he has in there on what he expects in the research paper. Are we all right? So now we have everything else. You have that, and then you post that. Now, the other thing about the forums, you don't have to reply to everyone, but you have to read all the forums, just like you do a Twitter or something else, or your Facebook, where you're keeping an eye, you don't reply. It's just like you're being in the classroom. I'm talking, and everyone else is listening, but I'm talking to one individual. So if that question has been responded to another individual and you ask me the same question again, unless you're varying it differently, I'm going to say I already answered that question. Move back. Mine's not to waste time. My time, your time, and other individuals reading something that I've already stated. Yeah, but you could want a clarification. I know you talked to this in Saturday. Remember, in the forums, I want to always see your first name. I want it written in capital letters. Try not to use the lowercase. If it's I, it should be the big I, not the I with the dot. All right, this is a college level. That's not, how would you send this information if you're to your boss, or you send it to a client or a customer if you're a first-line supervisor and customer service representatives work underneath your control, or you're a team leader of that group. It has to be professional. This is a college level, and this will help you write better over time. If you're a poor writer, read see how other people respond and go, hey man, I pick up. The more you write, the more you read, the better writer and reader and faster reader you're going to be. Okay, so that took care of that. What else we have for week 2? Remember, week 1 closes at Sunday. It's done. So we have that. We have a short video by Dr. George. Remember, oops, I forgot to click it in here because I didn't, but I have it in here. I put it over here. It's a short video. So this week we've got, where are we at? We have chapter 3, teams. Click on that and you're up and running. Remember, when I go with the videos, you could watch it. Just 2 of me talking now. This is great. I'm in stereo. I'm just only kidding. Okay? You could slow me down. You could move me ahead. You know, because what you're looking at, if I go in here, you're looking at my concept maps. I have provided you concept maps in PowerPoint. Not for every chapter. For some of the chapters, I provide concept maps. Look at the concept maps. You can print them out. I've created the links for you on printing them out. So let me go back in here. I'll just close this up and go back to my Blackboard. Okay, so I got kicked out by error. I didn't trigger it out there. My mistake, class. So when I'm going in here, I'm in week 2, all right? So you have the short videos. Look at that. I have sometimes in there. I've also have the link to my concept maps. You click in there. If you notice, my concept maps are in PDF files since you don't have the software that I utilize to generate them and for you to view them. I put them in a PDF file. So what you would have to do in chapter 3, if I have a concept map, you click on there. It says activate. And let's see, it says show. Make sure, because I have the software, but this is going through Blackboard. Activate and allow, and you go okay. So now it's just telling Blackboard that this is allowable. You could print this out. So you have my concept maps. You don't have to listen to me. It's in 2 pages, full blown. It basically is a representation of what you've read. It helps you do the study. It helps you do the quizzes. Add on your notes. This will. I may not have them for every chapter. It's a different way of taking notes, but it's one way, so when you're studying for the exams, you have another way of going back. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my mind maps. Remember, you have them in here. I'll have the links in here, so we should do pretty good. Do we have everything else? I think we have everything covered. So this week there's no homework assignment where I say a document you're submitting. I want you to concentrate on your topic, because once you start the topic, as we're going to do the other chapters, remember this week we're going to be covering 3 chapters. We'll be covering chapters on groups. Just chapter 3. We'll be covering chapter 4 on corporate social responsibility, ethics, and sustainability, and chapter 5 on managing diversity. All of these our chapters are a good foundation. What I want to create is a good foundation, because as you take me for other class, organizational behavior, or human relationship, you have to have that solid foundation or management you're going in there, so you know how to manage people. And now when I become a manager from a first line supervisor, or I'm a entrepreneur, I'm a small business owner, I take the role of a first line supervisor, middle manager, and president. How do I act differently within the roles? And this is what this course content that we're learning. Okay, so you've got that. You got the management. Remember, you have all your weekly assignment starts here for those that are novice on or brand new on what do you call it, for lack of better words, in Blackboard. The other ones you could hit the forum discussions going this way, or you could hit the research papers. You have my mind maps and my PowerPoints. Everything's set up for you where you could do it. Remember last week, if you didn't do the quizzes, they're all closed and they're gone. But what I will do, I will move them over to where it says late homework assignment, and I'll start taking points off. So you have 1 week to finish them. If you didn't finish them last week, your homework is late, but some points are better than no point. Whew, that was a lot though, wasn't it? But look, you passed the first week. We're going to the second week. Remember, this is, if I'm mistaken, an 8-week or 9-week course, give or take, but because we're doing a few chapters, but you're getting it done. We're doing it fast, but you're learning a lot. Again, I'll see you in the forums, and you're doing well. Just hang in there. It's week 2. We're covering 3 chapters. You have your research topic forum. You have a water cooler forum. You have your quizzes. You have no written document other than a forum. And remember, in the forum, ask the questions. Does this make sense? Maybe you have some resource ideas. You have some websites. You help each other out. Do not wait for me to respond. I will basically respond. I sometimes may not respond to you directly. You always see my comments comments in papers you submitted or in your grade area. My comments are always listed in there, so you could go in there and find out. I'm always reading because I'm monitoring the forum, just like in the classroom, but I may not be responding. I want to see how you interact with other students, how you respect them. You may not agree with everything a student says. You still have to be respectful. Do not write any vulgar, disrespectful words in here, because that would be course action against with the students' code of conduct that Harper has there, and I don't have to say, well, I didn't mean that. I've got it written down. You can't delete it, so be careful what you say. I'll have it, and we'll I've only had to do that once where there was an argument, and I monitored the forums. I turned around, and within 6 hours they're fighting. Vulgar language in a forum. Those students who started it, he no longer was my line, was out. We don't want to be in that position. Just like at work, you don't want to send anything else and tell a customer he or she's whatever, and now you've got an email and you've got the paper. You're out of the job. You're fired. You got disciplinary action. Okay. But anyway, this team is great. I enjoy the forums. You're a talkative group. Look, it's like you'll know the students better than you would in the face-to-face. You have that communication. And the skill sets you use here is the skill sets that are transferable in the business. You have to know this stuff. I'll see you in the forum. Have a nice day. Bye. And I'm waiting to see what topics are going to come up. I learn a lot from the topics. The class learns a lot by reading them as a collective, and we'll start doing the other chapters. I start trying to tie it in. How will this work within your topic? My name is Dr. George Mochocki, Management 160, overview for week 2, covering chapters 3, 4, and 5, with course Blackboard course management system.